Hi there, and thank you for joining me today for our live reading of Deepening Desire, Shattered Embrace Book 4 by Alyndra Quinn, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Reid. The sleek ACH-130 helicopter blades beat a rhythmic tattoo as we descend. As I step out onto the soft grass of the landing pad, I'm enveloped in oppressive humidity, giving me yet another reason to reboard the chopper and retreat. Palm trees surround the landing pad, their fronds swaying in the warm breeze drifting off the nearby water. Zachary Ingram's choice of transportation is a world away from the Blackhawks Derek and I knew in the Navy. The Ingram brothers, despite their down-to-earth demeanor, live surrounded by an extravagance that still catches me off guard sometimes, even after years as part of their inner circle. My dark suit is heavy, too formal for Indulgence Isle. The last time I visited, I spent the better part of the week barely clothed. Passion and pleasure might be the island's purpose, but my role here is twofold: guest at my friend's wedding and head of security for the event. But I won't relax until security is well in hand. Habit takes over. My gaze sweeps the area, noting the discreet cameras mounted near the dock, assessing the dense tropical vegetation that borders the pathway leading inland. Others see paradise. I see potential ambush points, blind spots, lines of sight for those highly motivated to get a glimpse of the celebration. Indulgence is the most exclusive location of Club Shattered Embrace, Zachary's BDSM empire. Accessible only by private helicopter, ringed by turquoise waters and pristine white sand, it's an oasis of pleasure known only to a privileged few. The isolation provides a degree of security, yet the high-profile guest list turns this idyllic setting into a potential target zone. As each powerful guest and meticulous but temporary staff member arrives, the threat level increases. My job is to anticipate, to protect, and to keep the attendees blissfully unaware of any potential danger. But the external threats are not what currently have my muscles coiled tight. Francesca Marino. My head throbs at the thought of my former fiancée. 6 years of carefully constructed distance, of strategically avoiding assignments that might put us in the same city since she joined Nightshade, let alone in the same room. Until Derek Ingram, our boss at Nightshade Security, and Zachary's brother brought her into the Houston team permanently, shattering the fragile peace I had built over our time apart. We've avoided one another as best we can. Now Zachary's wedding forces us onto this island for an entire week. There is no escape. I grind my teeth. And then there's Kane Delgado. Once my best friend, the man I trusted implicitly, who's now the symbol of the betrayal that ripped my life apart. The man I found with Francesca. The pain of that wound still festers, a relentless, bitter reminder of why I keep my guard perpetually raised, although most think I'm open and outgoing. It's an easy assumption given my lifestyle. I don't correct the misconception. A member of staff takes my duffel and garment bags as soon as they're unloaded, then hurries down the path. Alicia, a club submissive I've spent time with on prior trips, waves from a distance. I lift a hand in greeting, but turn away to survey the tree line behind me before she gets any idea about coming over to talk. Now's not the time for pleasantries. I need to walk the path, commit the layout to memory, and get my obsessive thoughts about Francesca under fucking control. The manicured gravel crunches slightly as I move along the walkway. To my left, the sunlight glitters off of the ocean, an impossible shade of azure. It's the kind of view that inspires poetry, but today it does nothing to soothe the tightness in my chest. Zachary's vision for his wedding is undeniably grand. This island resort is the pinnacle of his BDSM club network. Private bungalows equipped for intimate scenes, exclusive lounges designed for fetish exploration, hidden coves promising power play under the stars. As a dominant, I appreciate control, structure, and the careful negotiation of boundaries. But the thought of Francesca being here, surrounded by doms looking for distraction, has me raw, on edge. Focus, Mathews. I draw a slow breath through my nose, then exhale with deliberate control. The main lodge comes into view, an expanse of modern elegance, rich wood and expansive glass, poised on the edge of a sprawling beachfront. Through the gleaming windows, I glimpse staff preparing trays laden with champagne flutes. The wedding machine is in full gear. Reaching the top step, I pause. My reflection stares back from the glass door, tall, broad-shouldered, tension evident in the rigid set of my muscles. My sandy blonde hair is longer than regulation, but the military discipline lingers in my posture. I'm barely keeping my dark mood out of my steel gray eyes. I ease my grim expression with effort. 6 years out, but the Navy's still etched into my bones, much like Francesca. The cool kiss of air conditioning greets me as I step inside the airy foyer, the scent of citrus overlaying an ever-present salt tang. Before I can fully take in the soaring ceilings and decor, a familiar voice cuts through the quiet hum of activity. Reid. Zachary Ingram strides toward me, radiating the easy command of a man accustomed to being in charge, and the dopey grin of someone about to claim, properly, the love of his life in every possible way. Dressed in a crisp white shirt and linen trousers, he looks relaxed, almost carefree, as close to vacation mode as a wealthy CEO and a renowned dominant gets. A genuine warmth lights his eyes, a brightness I attribute to Ashton, his soon-to-be wife and my longtime friend. I force my lips into a semblance of a smile. Hey, Z. Our handshake morphs into a brief, firm hug. Glad you're finally here, he says, a not-so-subtle dig that I've missed the first few days of his private play party. Someone had to keep IT and the club under control, I deflect. While the boss is away making his sub scream, things go to shit and all that. It's only half in jest. I'm glad my workaholic friend finally found a purpose beyond adding to a pile of money already bigger than he could ever spend. But his shift in attention has had ripple effects in securing his world. Zachary chuckles, a low rumbling sound. You are the best. Come on, I'll show you to your room. Zachary chuckles. He leads me past towering floral arrangements and groupings of sleek, modern furniture. Every surface gleams. Soft, ambient music drifts from hidden speakers, intended to soothe, but it does nothing to ease the coiled spring in my gut. The next few days will be intense, Zachary explains as we walk. Dinner tonight, a smaller gatherings over a few days, then the official pre-wedding party. It's less than a week from the main event. The Dobie grin spreads over his face. Derek has a handle on the security team that's arrived. Those will be the close personal security of the glittering guests. All are familiar faces and easy to work with. He continues. More of the Nightshade team are arriving today, so I hope you can delegate assignments and join in the party. It would mean a lot to Ashton. He gives me the sort of expectant look that confirms my suspicion. My week will be complicated as hell, alternating between the happy party guest of my besotted friends and head of security. Kane is already here, handling some of the advanced on-site logistics. Derek says he'll be able to take a lot of the workload off your shoulders. My jaw clenches involuntarily at the mention of Kane. Keep it together. Yeah, I manage, the single word tight. Zachary places a hand on my shoulder, his grip friendly but firm. Reid, I know things between you two ended badly, but do me a solid, keep it civil, please. This is for Ashton, and I won't tolerate any drama overshadowing it. This week closes the book on her past. The book closed on her past when she walked into shattered embrace as Zach's sub. Ashton likes privacy and quiet. This extravagance is her nod to what her dom thrives on. Attention, especially when showing off his mischief. She would have married him at a Taco Bell in Las Vegas and happily spent a quiet week at their secluded cabin. She told me so herself. But I don't bother to correct him. It's none of my business. My chest tightens at the weight of his gaze, the conviction I see there. His mischief deserves the world on a fucking platter. And she does. Ashton is incredible, even if she never took me up on my invitation to dinner years ago. You have my word. I owe them both that much. They're my closest friends, my second family. Whatever personal bitterness I'm carrying around, I won't let it taint Ashton's happiness. We reach a bank of elevators, Zachary swipes a key card and the doors glide open silently. We ascend to a private floor reserved for the wedding party. Plush carpeting absorbs the sound of our footsteps as we move down a corridor lined with floor-to-ceiling glass, overlooking a stunning central courtyard. Below is a large pool, with only one couple floating on the lazy river, surrounded by luxurious lounge chairs. My gaze snags on a figure on the deck overlooking the water's edge, a woman with long, dark hair cascading down her back. She's too far away to distinguish features, but an unwelcome jolt goes through me, a primal recognition that bypasses logic. Let it go, Mathews. It might not be her. But Zachary's words echoed in my mind. Kane is here. It stands to reason Francesca is too. They're both senior consultants with Nightshade. The familiar bitterness rises, coating the back of my throat. It's the taste of betrayal I've lived with for so long, it's become almost normal. Zachary stops before a door marked with a polished brass number. This one is yours, he says, handing me the key card. Get settled. There's plenty of time before dinner. After, we'll pull the team together to finalize the security plan. Sounds good, I reply, stepping into the expansive room. Floor-to-ceiling windows offer panoramic ocean views. White marble floors gleam underfoot. A king-size bed draped in wispy linens dominates the room. I turn back to Zachary, who has remained in the doorway. He studies me, a flicker of concern in his eyes. You okay? I nod, aiming for nonchalance. Just a lot going on. He sighs softly. Reid, I know what happened was hell, beyond difficult, but you need to let it go. If things need saying, say them, preferably out of Ashton's earshot. This has haunted you too long, buddy. My jaw tightens again. Easy for him to say. He's got everything he ever wanted. Right. One of the best things about Zachary is his instinctive sense of timing. He doesn't push. He clasps my shoulder again. Whatever it takes to keep this wedding smooth and stress-free. I'm counting on you. I've got it under control, I say, focused on my job. That part is easy. The rest, not so much. I should get back to Ashton, he says, still eyeing me. You should, before your mischief gets into trouble, I tease, knowing it's the fastest way to get him off my case. He backs up into the hallway with a grin, the door clicking softly shut. I turn back to the room, my gaze drawn to a welcome basket perched on a low glass table. Exotic fruits, artisanal chocolates, a bottle of champagne chilling in a silver bucket. The festive gesture irritates me for reasons I don't want to examine too closely. In the past, I might have walked into a room like this with Francesca. We would have teased each other about the luxury, maybe cracked open the champagne to celebrate a successful mission, the adrenaline still singing in our veins. We would have ended up tangled in those expensive sheets, lost in each other. I drag a hand over my face, my pulse kicking up. The memory is sharp, painful. 6 damned years. Despite that, the moment I enter an environment that resonates with our past, the wound feels fresh. My phone buzzes on the bedside table, a notification from the secure Nightshade channel. I pick it up, my thumb hovering over the screen. The message is routine. F. Marino arrived 1400, suite 224. My grip tightens on the phone, knuckles turning white. So she is here. A foolish part of me had clung to the hope she might decline the assignment, that fate might grant us one more near miss. But there's no avoiding it now. Not on this island full of love-drunk people enclosed by miles of ocean, isolated from the world. A harsh laugh escapes me. In the SEALs, I faced down enemies, navigated treacherous terrain, and survived impossible odds. But facing Francesca again, here, it feels like walking willingly into an ambush, unarmed and exposed. Not just because of the betrayal, the anger that still smolders, but because of the stubborn, irrational part of me that never fully accepted we weren't meant to be. My dick sure thinks it still belongs inside her every time we're in the same room. I square my shoulders, drawing another deep, centering breath. Focus on the job. Ensure Zachary and Ashton's wedding is secure and the party of the century. Maintain professionalism. When I encounter Francesca, keep it brief, cordial. I exhale slowly, forcing the promise I made to myself to the front of my mind. Nobody gets under my skin again. Defenses high. Control absolute. I will not allow that flicker of heat, that familiar ache time has failed to erase. Francesca is here. Fine. Let her be. She can't shake me. She no longer has that power. At least, that's what I tell myself. Deep down, I know that every scar I've tried to keep hidden is about to tear wide open.